So here we are, patch notes 4.0. I'm going to go over the different changes that are coming, the new game modes, but also there is, thanks to Hiromi's Elite Ship Database Discord, some data mining of some changes for ships that aren't really posted. So we're going to be taking a look at all that. One of the first things I'm excited for is the addition of a 3 versus 3 game mode. It's going to be a domination. There's going to be smaller maps, and I believe some of the maps are overlapping, so kind of think like a Venn diagram. There's going to be circles inside of circles to capture. It's going to bring a whole new mechanic to capturing. One of the things I like about this also is if you have a set squad, you don't really have to rely on your other teammates. Like in a normal game mode, you have 4 other questionable players that you don't know if you can fully trust. But the flip side of that, I think competition is going to be very stiff in this new game mode, so I'm kind of excited for this. The second new game mode is more of a PvE kind of game mode. On PC version, I know they do some where you have to escort a ship and then defeat the waves and things of that nature. By this name in survival, it might be face as many waves as possible, and then when you die, you die. But we'll have to see once it actually rolls out. Moving on further down the list, we have the Premium Time Certificate. I'm hoping that you're going to get this for in-game rewards because it's going to really help the people that don't pay or subscribe for a premium account. Basically, you're going to be able to activate these vouchers and use them when you want to. This is going to be especially useful. Say you're grinding a ship. Say, tier 9 respawn just happened. You can pop those and use the premium time while you're grinding those ships. I think it's a great addition and I really like it. I just hope that you don't have to buy these things. Now on to everybody's favorite thing about new patch notes, ship balancing. Up first on our list for destroyers, we have the Sommers, getting an increase in its torpedo damage, and now she's going to have a torpedo reload. You're going to be able to put out 16 torpedoes in the water. That's one more than the Shimakaze. It's a pretty significant buff if you ask me, but also we're going to be able to use Halsey's commander skill to actually get an extra torpedo reload. Moving on to cruisers, we have the Siegfried getting a reduction in its reload for its auto secondaries. There are some other changes that we're going to talk about later. Those are those hidden changes that are coming too. Now I'm not going to specifically name the next ships, but pretty much all of your Japanese cruisers are getting a increase to their torpedo range. So it's going to make them a little better at stealth torping, especially if there's no destroyers around. Onward to our battleships. Basically anything German is getting its auto secondaries reduced by 0.5 seconds. And when I say reduced, I'm talking about its reload. So the reload of those secondaries, the auto secondaries, are being reduced by 0.5. And we have the battleship Hood. Main battery reload time is going to be reduced by a second, and so does the Ise. Moving on to the Massachusetts, its auto secondary range has been increased from 5.1 kilometers to a 5.4. Auto secondary shell air resistance is greatly reduced. Now what that means is your shells are going to get there a lot quicker to the target, with the air resistance being reduced. Next we have the Shikishima. Its AA rating has gone up from 340 to 360. There's a couple different changes in there, but once we get to the hidden changes, I will break it down a little further than that. The Graf Zeppelin, basically it's a decrease in its auto secondary reload. A majority of the changes that occurred with this patch is your German ships that have auto secondaries getting their times reduced. So what that shows me is brawling builds, they're trying to make it very, very compelling, so to say. So I'm super stoked about it. I hope it's enough, but I think you might have to change these secondaries a little further to make them fun, very fun to play. I mean, they're fun to play now, but to make them very fun and competitive, I think they're going to be needing a little more. So I mentioned some hidden changes that are kind of getting snuck in there. That's all on the Elite Ship database. Hiromi's done this Discord where basically he has a full list of things that are coming out. There's leaks, there's different numbers. He data mined a bunch of stuff, and there's a bunch of changes that are coming in kind of under the radar, and we're going to go through those too. So first things first on these hidden changes are these German ships are getting their secondaries reduced, their auto secondaries. Not only that, the air resistance is being reduced, so they're going to fly quicker as well. Pretty much all of them, are the same changes that we just discussed as well. But moving on, Shikishima, its large caliber AA went from 411 to 436. Its range for its large caliber has gone from 3.6 to 3.78 kilometers. But also, it's getting a little bit of a nerf. Decrease main battery citadel chance from 18 to 17%. So it's 1% less of a chance to citadel. Moving on to the Massachusetts, it also gets a auto secondary reload time reduced from 6 seconds to 5 seconds, but also an increase to auto secondary initial velocity. Next on the list is the Alaska. It actually increases the deck armor. So the deck armor, not any hull or anything like that. So the deck armor increases from 36 millimeters to 40, making it a little more tankier to plunging fire, probably from cruisers. Battleships are probably still going to nail this thing. Next we have the Cheshire. So basically increase main battery citadel damage rate from 150% to 200%. Increase concealment after firing guns from 11.16 kilometers to 11.76 kilometers. Increase acceleration from 13.35 seconds to 13.97 seconds. Next we have the Russian battleships. Basically the Vladivostok and the Sinop are getting a nerfs to their dispersion, their bow armor, and an increased risk of citadel from deck and belt armor. Poltava is also receiving a nerf to its risk of citadel from belt armor. But that's going to go ahead and do it for the changes. If you haven't checked it out, please check out that elite ship database. There's a lot of good information. Hiromi's done a wonderful job with it, especially now that even these hidden changes, I saw edits being made here and there, so not everything is quite set in stone. I kind of gave you just like an overview of what's changing there. But again, check it out. A lot of work's gone into it. But that's going to go ahead and do it for this video. Until next time.